very top. So we're simplifying an expression. That means that we are not solving for an answer here. We're just combining like terms. Have you guys heard that before? Combining like terms. So the way that I like to do it is underline all of our like terms. That means like our matching variables, or if it's just a number. So I have 2s. I'm going to put one line underneath 2s. You should be underlining 2s. What else can I underline? What is the other like term to 2s?
3s.
3s, very good. Okay, we're just underlining our s's. We also have 3d. I'm going to put 2 lines under it. Why am I putting 2 lines?
So you can tell the difference.
So we can tell the difference, right? They're different variables. These are all correct answers. Very good. So 3D, I'm going to put 2 lines under. Where else am I going to put 2 lines? 2D. Okay, at this point, we can now go through and just combine them. So we're going to take our single lines. 2s plus 3s would leave me with 5s. And save yourself some room. We're going to fit 4 different examples at the very top of your page.
Should we put a plus sign?
Well, let's see. We have all positives here, so we do know that we're going to have a plus sign. And then let's go ahead and add 3d plus 2d. That would leave us with 5d. Okay, so that is your example for your notes. Go ahead and grab your whiteboard. Let's do the next example on your whiteboard. So I'm going to pause here so we can do that. Okay, we have negative 5g minus 2g. Are they the same sign? Are they both negative? Yeah, so we're going to add and keep it negative. So I know that's going to be a negative, what's 5 and 2 added together? 7. So negative 7g. Questions with those?
No.
Nice. Okay, moving on. Your next example I would like you to write is, let's do this one down here, please. So write that example in your notes. Write this example in your notes. Negative 5n, I'll make it bigger.
Wow, good thing.
It's recording.
I want to go to church.
Well, I tell you, it's all right.
Okay, you're writing negative 5n minus 6m plus 2 plus 6m, sorry, in your notes. Okay, Cheyenne, what can we underline?
5
Good. Is there anything else with 5n or an n?
No.
Is there any other variables with n? So we'll just leave that alone. Let's move on. Michaela, what can I underline? If I underline negative 6n, what else can I double underline?
The other one.
The other one, what?
6m.
Good. And then 2 is by itself. Is that by itself for a reason? It has no other like terms, so I'm just going to leave it alone there. And actually, I'm going to go back through and erase. You can leave it as a single one. I'm just going to erase it because I usually don't underline anything that's just by itself. So anything that's by itself, we're just going to copy down. So I'm going to bring down minus 5n. You should be writing what I'm writing.
Yeah.
In your notes. In your notes.
Oh.
Negative 5n and a plus 2. Are we okay with that? Can I combine those at all?
Yes.
Can I combine those at all?
Yeah.
I'm hearing yes. Your answer is no. Why couldn't? Very good. The other one doesn't have an n. We can only combine things with the same variable. So I have a negative 6m and a positive 6m. What does that leave me with? If you owe someone $6, now you're paying them back $6. How much do you owe them?
0.
You owe them nothing, right? So do we have to write 0? No. So that would be my final expression. Cannot combine them if they're not like terms. All right, let's try this other one on your whiteboard, please. So I'll pause and write that on your whiteboard.
For $5, I edit your video.
Okay, it's on. All right, so negative t was your answer for number 3. Make sure you check that one. Okay, we're moving on to using the distributive property. So go ahead and write down example number 5 at the top of your page. So I said we're going to write 4 examples up at the top. This is your third one. sure you have enough room. Make sure your foldable is not covering up your notes. Number 5, 6 times p minus 5. Okay, distributive is what we did for this now, so hopefully that refreshes your memory a little bit. We have to multiply the outside number by what? By how many terms on the inside? By one thing, by all things, what?
Awesome.
All things. So we're going to take our, everyone do this with me, we're going to draw little baby rainbows. We're doing 6 times what first?
6p.
6 times p, we just write as, like Nick said, 6p. Are we okay with that?
Yes.
You should be writing it out. Okay, we've distributed to the first term, now we have to go to the
Minus.
second term. So now we're doing 6 times
30.
6 times negative 5.
30.
Remember, if a positive and negative are in a fight, who's going to
The higher.
win? That only applies to adding and subtracting. When we're multiplying, a negative always wins. Negative always wins if it's against a positive. So that is negative 30. Negative 30. Questions there? Okay, let's try the next one on your whiteboard. We're going to switch back and forth. So now on your whiteboard, please write a plus 4 times 7 on the outside.
But I don't got no more on the page.
We're on the whiteboard. Alright, so double check your answers for those examples with mine, and we're going to move on to our next example. Alright, so following, this is our last one you're going to write down in your notes. Last one in your notes. Last one in your notes. Last one in your notes.
What number?
Number 8.
8.
Is the last one a trick question?
The last one is, what number is that out front? If it's just a minus sign, that's really a negative 1. Good. So when we'll do that one together in a second. Alright, but this one you should have written down in your notes. So we're going to take that 2 and distribute it. So the only thing that got a little bit more tricky with this one is we have numbers now to multiply by. So 2 times a negative 3m, who's going to win there, the positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative's going to win, so it's negative what? 6
plus 2.
m. Very good, and now we're going to distribute that second term. So 2 times 1, 2. So we're just going to add 2. So you just want to pay attention to your numbers out front. This last one, we'll just do together. You don't have to write this one down unless you have room. Do you guys still have room in your notes?
No.
You ran out of room. That's fine.
Yeah.
So if you have room, write it. If not, don't worry about it. When I multiply by a negative 1, let's look what it does. A negative 1 times a positive x would be a negative 1 times a positive x. Remember, who's going to win, the negative or positive?
Negative.
Negative. So negative x. Question.
NP.
And then I'm doing negative 1 times a negative 2. A negative times a negative is a positive 2. So look what it did. All it did was change the sign of each term. My positive x turned negative, my negative 2 turned positive 2. So let's go ahead and get started on our, do not glue it down because it's hard to write on. Let's go ahead and open up this, the tab that says variables on the same side. Open up the tab that says variables on the same side. Alright, please copy that down in the summary. Please copy that down in the summary. Open up that first tab, you're writing down the summary. Okay, so when we have variables on the same side, we want to combine like terms, which is what we just practiced. Then use inverse operations to solve. Does anyone know what inverse means? What is opposite? Very good, Quinn.
Good job, man.
I'm talking now.
That
Opposite.
was
Should we do snaps for Quinn?
Yeah. Wait, if you get it. Oh. I thought you said snacks.
No, snaps.
I was gonna
Is that what you work?
thing.
You work for snacks?
I work for prizes.
Yeah.
Anything that
All right. So number one. We're on example number one. Okay, go ahead and underline our like terms there. Or actually, Vanessa, what would we underline here? What are our like terms? 3x and 2x. Thank you, Vanessa.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good job, guys.
Okay, 3x and 2x. You'll notice that I'm only simplifying one side at a time. Okay. Sorry. We're only simplifying one side at a time. Okay, we're only simplifying one side at a time. So 3x and 5x, those are both positive, so my answer would be, or when I combine them, they would become positive. What? 5x. I'm going to bring down my minus 4. I'm going to bring down my 36. We should know how to solve from here.
No, you got it.
We should know how to solve from here.
Oh.
So this is where our inverse or opposite operations come in. I'm going to cover up my 5x. Colton, how would I move that minus 4? What's the opposite of subtracting 4? Adding 4. Very good. So I'm going to add 4 to each side. We should feel pretty confident about this so far.
I'm done.
What can I do with my 4s?
You cross them out.
Cross them out. I'm going to bring down.
36 plus
I'm going to bring down my 5x. And what is 36 plus 4? 40. Cameron, what's my last step?
Divide.
Divide 5.
Sorry.
I thought you said Cameron.
She did say Cameron. We're going to divide each side by 5. We can cancel out the 5s, and x equals, what's 40 divided by 5? Positive 8.
Good job.
Questions there?
I could have sworn you said Cameron though.
I did say Cameron. Alright, look at our next one. Let's go ahead and underline our like terms. Underline our like terms. Go ahead and underline your like terms. That is a 9. It's just a very cute font. Just a very cute font.
I'm gonna be posted up on Butch's after school.
What you said?
I'm gonna be posted up on Butch's after school. I'm so tired, bro.
Okay, Paulina, what did you underline? 12x and a negative 3x. Make sure we know it's equal to negative 3x. What else did you underline?
9 and 5.
9 and 5. So one of those is a little easier.
No, because
Alright, so numbers are also like terms. We can always combine numbers. So let's go ahead and do our x's first. What's 12 minus 3x? 12x minus 3x?
9x.
9x. And what is 9 plus 5?
14.
14. Good. And I'm going to bring down the rest. I'm going to pause here. Go ahead and try that. Try to finish solving for x on your own.
Hold on, you guys.
Alright, double check your work with mine. Make sure we know when we subtract, when we're subtracting a negative, it's going to stay negative. Okay, our next one. What got added into this one? Bumped it up one more level. I hear parentheses. I hear talking that I shouldn't be hearing.
You should distribute.
I have to distribute. Very good. So my first step here is to take that 5 and distribute it. So what is 5 times x? 5x. What is 5 times a negative 2?
5 times negative 2 is
You're on the slow.
Negative
Down,
10.
bro.
It's 10.
Bro.
Negative 10.
I forgot.
Negative 10. I'm going to bring down everything else. Okay, and I'm going to pause here. And you can pause here. Those of you watching the video can pause. Not you guys. And try that one on your own.
Oh my God.
Okay, make sure you double check your work with mine. And then let's move on to our next set of examples. So variables on both sides. Variables on both sides. Please write down the summary. First, move all variable terms to the same side of the equation. Please copy that down.
I got a D in this class. Oh no, is it a F?
Oh, just shut that out.
Alright, so we have variables on both sides here. You might have learned this a different way before.
Put a line down the middle.
Okay, we can put a line down the middle. But you'll notice that I have a 4x on this side and a negative 2x on this side. We want to move it to the left, and for all these, I'm going to move it to the left. We want to combine it over here. So let's think about it. I like the line idea, so let's draw our line. Right now it's a plus 4x, right? That's a positive 4x. How would I cancel it out? What's the inverse?
Negative.
Negative. So I'm going to subtract 4x, and I'm going to line it up as close as I can over here. So we want the x's together because those are the like terms. Why would I not put it under 15?
Because that's not a variable.
Because that's
Not an x. Good. So what can I do with my plus 4 and minus 4x?
Battle. Or cross them out.
Cross them out, right? So what are we left with on the right-hand side?
39.
39. I'm going to bring down my 15. That just comes straight down. And now I have negative 2x minus 4x. Are those the same sign?
6.
They're the same sign, so we're going to add them, which is 6, and I'm going to keep it negative. So negative 6x plus 15. You should be writing what I'm writing. Okay, at this point, is that something that we can do?
Yeah.
That's just a two-step problem. So what is my first move here?
Subtract 15 on both sides.
Good, take away 15 on both sides. What are we doing with the 15s?
You cross them out.
Cross them out. I'm going to bring down negative 6x. These are different signs, so this is just 39 minus 15. What's 9 minus 5? 4. 3 minus 1 is 2. Last step is dividing each side by
X equals
6.
3.
negative 6. Watch your negatives. Cancel those out. I'm left with x equals
3.
4.
3.
Negative 4.
6, 4, 18, 24.
negative 4. Negative 4.
Yeah.
Negative's going to win. Okay, look at our next one.
I didn't get that one.
And then we'll pause. This will be our last one.
We were done.
With notes. All right. So this one's a little bit different because let's go ahead and draw our line. There's only one x on the left-hand side, but how many x variables do we have on the right?
Oh, two.
Good. So we want to combine those first to make it a little bit easier before we move it over. So let's go ahead and combine our like terms there. So let's underline 10x and minus 4x. Let's go ahead and simplify that. So what is 10x minus 4x?
6x.
6x plus 37 is now on the right-hand side, and I'm just going to copy down everything here. So 13x minus 5, I'm going to copy down. Okay, now we can move it across to the left. I'm always going to move it to the left-hand side. So if it is a plus 6x, how do I get rid of it?
Minus.
Minus 6x. Where am I going to subtract 6x from?
Negative 5.
Why are we not going to subtract it from negative?
37.
13.
13x, right? Because the x's go with the x's. Wherever I see an x, I'm going to subtract it from that. Let's draw our line and close out that step. You guys with me? All right, what can we do with our x's over here? Our 6x's.
Cross
You
them out.
cross them out.
Cross them out. So I'm left with what on the right-hand side?
37.
Good. I'm going to bring down my negative 5. And then let's do 13 minus 6x. 7x, very good. And here's our nice two-step problem. So go ahead and try to finish this one. Cover up that x, and you should be able to finish here.
divide by 13.